and I wrote all of it inside this using StreamWriter with the help of object name, which is writer, object name, dot, write line, and then string, which is over here, which converts the object. Now we will just give a prompt again, main dot server log, log server, whatever. File was created, loading data. Now we are going to call this function again. This is called recursion, so that instead of doing it again, we will just call the function again. Instead of writing this code again, we will just call it. So we will call it with the help of let's see, init connection. There we go. So this is the recursion part. That means a function is calling itself. Now that the file was not found, we create a file. First of all, we change an object to a string. We create the file, we write the string in the file, and then we call the function again. So when it comes back over here, it will check if file exists or not in the same file path. And since we have already created it, it is going to find the file and this part will execute. Let me just add a comment. File is found. So what should happen if the file is found? Well, we will load the data. How will we load the data? Let me show you. So first of all, what we're gonna need is from JSON. We will add this, and inside this angular bracket we are going to write the type of class where we're trying to store it. So the type of class is going to be this class, MySQL. So I'll just write that, MySQL, and over here we need to give the string JSON. String JSON, oops, I forgot to actually load the data. So let me just load it. Okay, so we are going to load all the data from the file to a string. So let me just use a string. Again, SQL data is equals to file dot read all text, and we will give the file path in this parameter for the function read all text, and the file path is stored right over here. So file path. So everything that is inside file path will be stored in the string SQL data. Now over here, napi.util.fromJSON, in the angular bracket, I am mentioning explicitly that this is the class type that is going to be casted. So in the parameter, I'll give the string SQL data, and it will store in an object, the object being SQL. So SQL, which we created right over here, because the SQL has all of these variables which will automatically get stored. Now we are going to try and test it out if it's actually working. So main.log server, oops, load server, no, log server, and that's the object. Okay, it's working. Okay, so this is the object. So I will just do SQL.toString. There we go. That's how you create a file if it does not exist, and to write it, this is how to write it in a file. And this is what you should do if the file actually exists. You are going to read everything with read all text and then store it in a string data type. And then to convert from JSON string to an object, we are going to use from JSON and explicitly mention in the angular bracket which class type is it going to get changed to. And then over here, well, I'm just printing it. So let me just test it. Before I test it, let me just delete this and wait, I did not call it anywhere. My bad. I'll just call it in the main function over here in on resource start. No, that is not it. Over here on resource start, we are going to do init, sorry, mysql dot init connection, and then we are going to run the server. Okay, here we go. As you can see, look over here what's written. File does not exist, creating a file with default values. Then it says file was created, loading data. Then file found, loading data, and then test.mysql.mysql. Well, that was an object. That's why this happened. Anywho, if I were to print, this is an object. That's why it happened. However, I'll just print SQL data and then I'll run it again and you'll see that it's the exact form of a JSON file. Look over here. Now it did not mention that the file was not found. It directly says that the file was found, and this is the JSON data. Host is localhost, username is root, password is nothing, database is test database. And in the next video I will teach you how to use this, all of the information that you got from the file, from storing and getting, to connect to a MySQL database using XAMPP or whatever database that you prefer. So if you learned anything from these videos, then please do hit the like button and subscribe. Until then, peace.